Chapter 18 of The Calling by L.C. Pye. Talia. I had no idea how I'd fit into this dress after the dinner we had. Eaton outdid himself by cooking a 4-course meal. He started with a selection of a few canopies, tomatoes, basil, cheese, and caramelized onions, all on fried bread. Then he served potato leek soup that left everyone wanting more. And for the main course, he made an assortment of root vegetables surrounding a crisp golden turkey. I had never tasted anything like it in my life. And by the faces of the other families, I didn't think they had either. It felt as if we were eating like royalty. I wonder how Eaton had been able to find and afford this amazing food. It couldn't have been cheap. However, money never seemed to be an issue for my travel companions. They were constantly paying for me and providing for the other families also. Even the supplies for the well were funded by them. When we all thought we couldn't eat anymore, Eaton brought out a raspberry tart. It disappeared within seconds, and everyone left the table satisfied. Shortly after, everyone went their separate ways to get ready for the evening festivities. I propped up the small mirror on the dresser in our room to see myself better, so I could try to do something with my exceedingly long hair. I didn't want it down for the dance. Adira came to stand behind me. I could style it if you'd like, she asked. Please, go ahead, I said. I'm hopeless when it comes to doing hair. I always wore my hair 2 ways, down or braided. Adira braided my hair in sections and twisted pieces together using a few pins Mrs. Grady gave us to tack the braids up. I was amazed at how steady her hands were and at how she knew how to do such an elaborate hairstyle. I haven't always had short hair, Adira stated, as if she had read my mind. Her hair was uncommonly short for a woman. It barely brushed her jawline. It's easier to maintain when we are on long journeys, and it doesn't get in the way whenever I'm fighting, she said, the latter part nonchalantly. But I took note of it. It's striking. I'm jealous that you don't have to do anything with it. Mine is always in the way, I said. What do you think? She asked, with a hint of worry in her voice. She picked up the mirror and angled it so that I could see the intricate hairstyle. My hair was all pulled up and sat against the right side of my neck. She had left a few strands out in front of the frame of my face. I don't know what to say, I confessed. I reached up to touch the masterpiece. I stared at my reflection, astonished at how simply changing my hairstyle could make me appear so different. I seemed more mature and feminine. It's perfect, thank you. I smiled at Adira through the mirror. I'm glad you like it, but we are going to be late if we don't hurry. We quickly threw on the borrowed dresses and slipped on some shoes Hafsa picked up for us. We descended the stairs in a rush, realizing everyone had already left the tavern. When Adira opened the doors, music and laughter filled my ears. It took my breath away. The whole pensa was lit with candles. They had placed covers over the candles that changed the color being emitted. Some of the covers had designs on them, which sent different patterns along the stall walls. It was something out of a dream. Come on, Talia, Adira yelled. In my amazement, I had fallen behind. By the time I caught up, she was with some of our party who looked nearly unrecognizable. Eaton's wine-colored tunic pulled tightly against his frame as he waved his arms, regaling a story to Alon, who wore a chestnut colored shirt. Standing on Alon's other side, Nadav brushed a lock of Hafsa's hair behind her ear. Smiling, they were otherworldly standing next to each other. He matched her in a white linen tunic. I was beginning to wonder where the rest were when Gil dashed between us, followed by Jared and Gemma, laughing with threats of catching him. Even from afar, I could tell that Gil's tunic was an amber color, matching his eyes. Before he left my sight, I saw him dip his head toward a group of women who were giggling, and I knew it wasn't by chance he had picked that shirt. Shaking my head, I walked over to where Adira waved me over. Raf's back was to me as he talked with Adira, but when she waved, he peered over his shoulder and his eyes widened as they saw me. Heat rose to my cheeks. He wore a gray tunic that accentuated his sharp features, especially those green eyes that captured my attention again. He hadn't stopped staring at me, but his face was unreadable. I couldn't tell if he was distaste or interest in them. Almost all my courage left me. I debated turning around and going over to Gil instead, but I took a deep breath and walked toward Raf, determined not to let this new courage I had found since leaving Gasmere disappear because a man intimidated me. No, I wasn't going to let anyone dictate my feelings anymore. I approached them with my chin held high. Thanks for waiting, Adira, I teased. She flipped her hair, giving me a wicked smirk. Thrown off guard by her response, I laughed. Raf, I tried too calmly, say in between laughs, purposefully acknowledging him first to show myself I was in control. Evening, he said, then walked away. I blew out a loud breath. I had just promised myself I wasn't going to let anyone control my emotions, and already I was allowing Raf to get under my skin. I turned to Adira, who stood there with one eyebrow raised. What have you done to Raf? She asked. He can be a bit moody at times, but this is something different. I would like to know the same thing. I don't know what his deal is, but I'm not going to let it ruin my evening, I declared.